Every great invention begins with a simple question. What if there is another way? Welcome to TalePath English, where true stories help you improve your English while discovering remarkable people who changed the world. Today, you'll meet a boy from a small village in Malawi. He had no money, very few resources, and almost no formal education. Yet one idea and the determination to follow it would save his family, help his community, and inspire millions around the world. This is the incredible true story of William Kamkwamba. William Kamkwamba was born in the farming village of Windmill in central Malawi. His family depended on the land for everything. Every season, they planted maize, hoping the rains would come at the right time. Unlike many children his age, William was endlessly curious. He loved taking things apart just to understand how they worked. Old radios fascinated him. Broken machines were not junk in his eyes. They were puzzles waiting to be solved. While other children played, William often spent hours examining wires, gears, and batteries, dreaming that one day he might build something useful with his own hands. Life in Windmill was never easy, but it was peaceful. During the rainy season, the fields turned bright green, and families worked together from sunrise until sunset. Children laughed as they ran between rows of growing maize, while neighbors shared meals and stories at the end of each day. William believed his future would be much like everyone else's. He would study, help his parents on the farm, and build a better life for his family. But nature had other plans. One year, the rainy season arrived later than expected. At first, no one was worried. Delayed rains had happened before. But as the days turned into weeks, the clouds disappeared. The hot African sun beat down on the dry earth, and the young maize plants began to wither. Soon, cracks spread across the fields. Rivers grew smaller, wells began to dry up, and every farmer looked toward the empty sky with growing fear. For the first time in many years, the village realized that something was terribly wrong. Without rain, there could be no harvest. The family's food supply became smaller each week. Meals that once filled the table were replaced by tiny portions shared among everyone. William watched his parents quietly skip meals so their children could eat. Hunger became part of everyday life. The cheerful sounds of the village faded. Instead of laughter, people whispered about food, water, and survival. Every sunrise brought another difficult day. William loved learning more than almost anything else. But as the drought continued, his family faced an impossible choice. There was no money left to pay his school fees. With great sadness, William was forced to leave school. Watching his classmates continue their education while he stayed behind was heartbreaking. His dream of becoming an engineer seemed farther away than ever. Still, William refused to give up on learning. He believed that education did not only exist inside a classroom. Although he could no longer attend classes, William found another place where knowledge was free. A tiny community library. The building was small, with only a few shelves filled with old books, but to William, it felt like a treasure chest. One afternoon, while searching through the science section, he discovered a book that would change his life forever. Its pages explained how windmills could generate electricity and pump water. As he studied each diagram, a single thought filled his mind. Maybe This could save our village.
The idea seemed almost unbelievable. William had never built a windmill before. He had no electricity, no engineering degree, and almost no tools. Most people thought the plan was impossible. Some neighbors laughed. Others shook their heads. How can a boy build a machine that even adults have never seen? They asked. But William wasn't trying to prove anyone wrong. He simply wanted to help his family survive.
William knew that building a windmill would require materials he couldn't afford. So he began searching everywhere. He walked through junkyards, old workshops, and abandoned fields, collecting broken bicycle parts, rusty metal pipes, wires, worn-out bearings, and pieces of scrap wood. To most people, it looked like garbage. To William, each piece was another step towards solving a problem. Little by little, his dream began to take shape. Every day, William worked on his invention. He measured, he cut, he connected wires. Sometimes the pieces fit perfectly. Other times, they fell apart. There were no instruction videos, no engineers to guide him. Only one determined teenager learning through trial and error. Every mistake became another lesson. As the strange machine grew taller, more people came to watch. Some smiled politely. Others laughed openly. They believed William was wasting his time. A few even called him crazy. But criticism never stopped him. He had learned something important. The greatest ideas often seem impossible before they become reality. The windmill still wasn't finished. William discovered that every new solution created another problem. The blades were too heavy. The tower wasn't strong enough. The wiring had to be rebuilt again and again. Many people would have quit. William simply kept improving his design. He believed that failure wasn't the end. It was part of learning. Then, one windy afternoon, everything changed. A gentle breeze touched the blades. Slowly, almost silently, the windmill began to move. One rotation, then another. William watched in amazement as the blades spun faster and faster. His impossible dream was finally becoming real. The spinning blades powered a small generator. Electricity flowed through the wires. Then, a light bulb glowed. For the first time, William's family had electricity created by the wind. The villagers stood in complete silence. Moments later, silence turned into cheers. The boy they once doubted had done the impossible. The windmill did more than produce electricity. William soon connected it to a simple water pump. Instead of waiting helplessly for rain, water could now be brought from underground to the fields. Slowly, the dry soil became moist again. Tiny green shoots pushed through the earth. For the first time in months, the villagers saw something they thought they had lost forever. Hope. News of the homemade windmill spread far beyond William's village. Journalists arrived to see the remarkable invention built from old bicycle parts and scrap metal. People around the world were amazed. How could a teenager with almost no resources accomplish what many believed was impossible? William's story appeared in newspapers, magazines, and television programs. The boy who once searched through piles of scrap had become an inspiration across the globe. William's determination opened doors he had never imagined. He received scholarships that allowed him to continue his education. He met scientists, engineers, and innovators from around the world. The curious boy who had once borrowed books from a tiny village library was now studying alongside people who shared his passion for solving problems. His dream had grown far beyond a single windmill.
Today, William Kamkwamba continues to inspire people around the world. His story reminds us that great ideas are not limited by age, wealth, or where someone is born. Innovation begins with curiosity. Progress begins with learning. And change begins with the courage to try, even when everyone else says it cannot be done. One homemade windmill became a symbol of hope for millions of people.
William Kamkwamba didn't wait for someone else to solve the problem. He didn't have expensive tools. He didn't have a laboratory. He didn't even have the chance to finish school at that time. What he did have was curiosity, determination, and the courage to keep learning. His story reminds us that education is more than attending classes. It is the willingness to ask questions, search for answers, and never stop believing that one person can make a difference. Sometimes, the smallest idea can change an entire community. Thank you for watching this inspiring story on TalePath English. Now, we'd love to hear from you. If you faced a difficult problem in your community, what creative solution would you try? Write your answer in the comments below. It's a great way to practice your English, and we'd love to read your ideas. Before you go, let's learn 5 advanced English words from today's story. Word number 1, perseverance. Perseverance means continuing to work toward a goal even when it is difficult. Example, William's perseverance helped him finish the windmill even after many failures. Word number 2, resourceful. Resourceful means being good at finding clever ways to solve problems using what is available. Example, William was resourceful because he built his windmill from old bicycle parts and scrap metal. Word number 3, innovative. Innovative means using new and creative ideas to solve problems. Example, his innovative idea brought electricity and hope to his village. Word number 4, determination. Determination means having a strong decision to keep trying until you succeed. Example, William's determination helped him continue working even when people laughed at him. Word number 5, transform. Transform means to completely change something and make it much better. Example, the windmill helped transform the village by providing electricity and water for the crops. Now it's your turn. Choose one of these 5 words and write your own sentence in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for another inspiring journey on TalePath English. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and remember, every great change begins with one idea.